Hey guys, welcome to the Homestead. So this morning I'm out here watering my garden. It is about 7:30 in the morning. I've had my coffee, feel pretty good. And I wanted to answer a comment that I got the other day talking about garden deficiencies, or really basically a calcium deficiency. But the reality is, if you have any sort of deficiency whatsoever in your garden, there's really one thing that will always cure that deficiency, no matter what it is, whether it's calcium, whether it's phosphorus, whether it's nitrogen. And that is animal manure. Now, I have a caveat for that. Manures, basically, animals are, hopefully, if they have a good diet, a normal diet, they're going to be getting everything they need in their diet, and that includes all those minerals. And usually animals, if they don't have that, they go search it out. This is especially true with like livestock, okay, that are allowed to graze, open graze, and go out and try to find the things that they want and pick and choose the things that they want, the plants that they want to eat. And so we use our sheep manure that we have, and we put that on our garden, supplement that. And that provides everything our garden will need. There is animal manures, I always say, are the number one thing you want to put in your garden. And I usually do that in the wintertime. Wintertime is the time to apply that. There's a lot of directions I can go with this video. I have a lot of pet peeves when it comes to this topic, because there's every year there's always somebody who comes in on the channel, on the comments, and says, I'm not using animal manure on my garden. That's disgusting. It's not, it's not healthy for you. You're putting, rotten material in your garden. Guys, that's what dirt is. Dirt is dead, decayed material, and then the nutrients of whatever died and decayed, whether it be waste or animals or bugs or insect, whatever it is putting that nutrients back into the soil and being able to be utilized by your plants. So I think we have a bunch of hoity-toity people out there who are so germophobic that they don't understand how waste is used in the real world. Okay, that is waste. Dirt is waste, and plants use that waste to grow and produce fruit or seed or whatever. So when someone comes to me like they did the other day and says, hey, what can I do? I had this deficiency. The number one thing I can tell you, whether it's calcium or whatever, is put animal manure on your garden every year. Animal manure. You can use, now there's ones that I think are better than others. I think rabbit is the best manure out there. It is a supercharger. You won't burn your plants no matter how much you put on it. It's an amazing fertilizer for your garden, rabbit manure. But you can use chicken if you let it sit for a year. It's very hot. It needs to sit, and once you've collected chicken manure, it needs to just sit and kind of mellow out for a year. Horse manure is another one, but people don't like using it sometimes because it produces a lot of grass seed and it can put a lot of hay. But if you have a garden cloth like this one here on your garden, that will help that tremendously. We use our sheep manure. You can use goat manure, whatever. If you can get an animal to poop in the same place every day, great, because we have ours in a corral at night, and then they poop there, and then we just go and collect it. And so animal manure is the number one thing. Now, there's some other things I would recommend too, if you need to supplement your garden with something. So her particular case, she had these yellow squash, and it was having rot. They were rotting at the blossom end of the squash, and I think zucchini too. That she was getting rot. And when you Google that, the number one thing Google's going to tell you is you have a calcium deficiency. If your fruit is rotting at the blossom end, it's more than likely a calcium deficiency. How can you mitigate that? Again, animal manure is number one. But let's just say you want to use something else as well. You can go out and find oyster shells and grind those up. You can find ground up oyster shells. That's a natural method to putting calcium back in your garden. If you have chickens, you can get the egg shells and put those eggs, grind them up into powder, those egg shells, and make that into a slurry with some water, and then pour that in your garden. You can use limestone powder and do that. If it's pure limestone powder, do that. Basically what happens is your garden is too acidic and you need to temper it down. And when you temper that down, it's going to allow some of these other plants that need less acidity to grow. Some plants love acidity. Blackberries are one of those things. They love acidity. I don't need to do anything really. It'll grow in Arkansas soil, no problem. The other thing I'll recommend, so there's lots of different ways to put calcium back in your garden. Plus, there's lots of organic liquid supplements that you can find at garden centers that you can put those things in your garden as well. Also, years ago, when I first started this channel, years ago, I put rock dust on my garden. Rock dust on my garden. It's a product called azomite. And I have a friend of mine, his name's Chris Haas, he has over at Shalom Acres. And me and him like to tease each other about things from time to time. And he said, Zach, why are you putting rock dust on your garden? You don't need rock dust. He thought that was the biggest joke. Guys, in my opinion, rock dust is probably one of the best, aside from manure, as a supplement, is probably one of the best supplements you can put on your garden. There's a product called azomite, A to Z rock dust. And it contains all these different, like 70 different trace minerals or whatever it is, that are ground up into a fine powder, and you can put that on, I think usually it's a fine powder, I think. And you put that on your garden, and that will sustain you for years and years to come, because it's going to take years and years for that rock dust to be broken down by the soil and all the biological things that are happening in the soil, and for it to be used by the root nodules of your plants. And that will give you a healthy garden, for sure. Absolutely. Rock dust, I believe in it. And I have never had a deficiency in my garden when it comes to... My biggest issue in my garden are pest pressures. Everyone wants to be in my garden, including all the bad things. So, I can't keep the pest out. That's my constant battle. I don't really have... I've never really seen a rot issue in my garden. As far as, I mean, every once in a while I have to deal with fungus or something like that, but never a rot issue where there's a deficiency. And it's because I use rock dust. And I use animal manures. And so those two things combined right there, your deficiencies are going to be low, minimum, when it comes to deficiencies for your plants or for the things you're trying to grow. So anyway, I wanted to answer that question. What's the number one thing you can put in your garden? If you have deficiencies, animal manure. Chances are that animal manure is going to contain everything you're going to need, okay, when it comes to minerals and anything that plant's going to need. It'll be contained in animal manure and will be broken down by the microbial activity in your dirt. And then, if you want to add an additional supplement, you can do things like rock dust. There's also things like animal frass, bat guano and worm castings. And I mean, you can go to organic garden stores and they'll sell you the moon with all kinds of stuff. But really, animal manure, if you can find a cheap source of animal manure, or if you have your own animals, you can use that manure if you can collect it, or rock dust. That's my two main recommendations. All right, guys. Hope you guys are doing good on your gardens, and I am having a heck of a time this year. My garden is like, you will not have tomato plants, and I'm like, I will have tomato plants, and it's saying, no, you will not have tomato plants, and I'm saying, no, I will have tomato plants. But it seems like the garden is going to win, and I'm going to end up buying tomatoes. It says, no, you will eat okra. See, okra. That's what you will eat this year. No tomatoes for you. Only okra. Oh, and potatoes. All right. Hope you're getting some tomatoes. I may come over to your place to get some. All right, guys. Love you. See you next time at the homestead. Bye. Come on, little tomato plant. You can do it. You can grow. You can grow and produce fruit and be strong. All your other brothers and sisters have died. Oh, or dying. Oh, all your poor brothers and sisters are dying and haven't made it. But you alone can make it and become great amongst the garden and produce fruit. I have faith in you, little one. Young grasshopper, you can grow and become mighty. Please grow, little plant. I need tomatoes. Hey guys, I'm happy to introduce an American Homestead sponsor, Zervita Zeal. Now, first off, I only accept sponsors from products that I use and believe in. My family uses Zeal mainly because we want to ensure a healthy immune system. You see, it's made up of only whole food concentrates and includes no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. The included sweetener is all natural from fruit and the stevia leaf. It's gluten-free, it's vegan, and it's kosher. In 2018, my youngest son was involved in a bike accident that resulted in the surgical removal of his spleen, and that's an important part of his immune system.
And because we live on a farm, you can guess that having a healthy immune system for our family is very important. Some of the included ingredients are beetroot, chicory root, turmeric, moringa, blueberries, cranberry, goji berry, milk thistle, ginseng, alfalfa, broccoli, and so much more. It's these natural ingredients that can easily be made into a powerful and tasty drink that my family can make and feel good about. So sign up and give it a try today. Every purchase you make goes to help the homestead so that we can continue to make great homesteading videos for you. Link is in the description below. Go ahead, give it a try. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.